What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building, and today, as y'all can see, man, I'm gonna be bringing y'all the first ever new toxic wear lockdown defender coming at y'all on NBA 2K21, coming at y'all on current gen though. As y'all can see, this is gonna be like a perimeter lock, but why not make a perimeter lock when you can make a build that's gonna be similar but rare to it? With this one, I'm telling you, the build name is definitely going to remind me of Kobe. And then when it comes down to the stats on this build, not primarily when it comes down to the playmaking, but when it comes down to the finishing, also the shooting, and then the defense especially, it's really going to remind me of a Kobe build. So man, thank y'all so much to everybody who decided to click on today's video. I really appreciate y'all. But man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. To the RGF family and any new supporters, I would appreciate it if y'all went ahead and hit that like button. And also be sure to turn on post notifications because I'm uploading every single day and y'all are not going to want to miss it. Now let's go ahead and get into the making of this build. So as you can see, we are going to be putting it under the small forward position, and this is actually where we are able to make some of the most rare and also toxic lockdown defenders in the game. Now when it comes down to the pie chart, this build is actually going to be able to be made out of multiple ones, but we're going to go ahead and pick the one split right down the middle with the shooting as well as the defense. Now, when it comes down to the physical profile, if you want the fastest possible version of this build, go ahead and pick the very first one. But if you want to go with the most balance, I'm telling you, the vertical is really going to come in handy, and that's the one that I would pick. So go ahead and pick the physical profile with the 77 speed, 76 acceleration, and then you get that 82 vertical. Not bad at all. Now, let's go ahead and get into the making of the actual build for the stats. So as you can see, when it comes down to the finishing side of things, close shot is going to be maxed out. Same thing with the driving dunk. And then when it comes down to that driving layup, both of these are actually going to be very different. So the driving layup we are actually not touching, but we're going to put the rest of those stats into the standing dunk. Both of these are going to be 73 when it comes down to the dunks. That's going to give us 5 badges, which is going to be good. Now, if we put them into the driving layup, you actually are going to change up the build name, so do not do it. Now, when it comes down to the shooting, max out every single stat right here. We're going to be able to get 19 shooting badges. If you want to lower it, you definitely can do so and put some other attributes in other areas. Now, when it comes down to the defense, go ahead and put that interior defense to a 65. Perimeter defense is going to be an 82. Lateral quickness in 82 as well. And then when it comes down to that block, of course, we're going to max it out. Offensive rebound, doing the same exact thing. And then when it comes down to the defensive, the same exact result. So we're going to get 21 badges on this build, which is not bad for being a rare lockdown with a really nice, cool name. Now, if you want to, go ahead and change up some of the stats how I put them. For the badge count that we get of 5, 19, 1, and 21, not bad at all. When it comes down to the defensive stats, all of them are maxed out. We cannot get anything more out of it. So that is something that I really like about this build. And then when it comes down to the shooting, we're still going to be able to maintain that. Only thing here is really the driving layup, but you really don't have to worry about that because we actually have a really nice driving dunk. Now, let's go ahead and get into the body shape. If you want to, go ahead and pick Burley for the biggest possible one to take up the most space. Now here is where we really have to pay attention and be specific when it comes down to detail. Be sure to follow along if you want to make the exact version of the build that I made. So we're going to go ahead and pick the height of 6'6". Not going to be too small and definitely not going to be too big. I feel like that is going to be perfect for a lockdown type build. Now, when it comes down to the weight, go ahead and drop it down to the lowest. Check it if you like it. If you want to, you could even go ahead and max it out. And once we get that +8 with that gym rat badge, definitely going to be worth something thinking about. But I'm going to go ahead and just show y'all the version of the lowest weight. You can also pick different types of physical profiles when it comes down to the build. For example, if you want to get more strength out of this build, I personally like the one that I got with the vertical. Now, when it comes down to this wingspan, look at the stats. So, as you can see, we have to stay under a 79 3-point shot. If you go 79 or higher, you are going to be able to get a different build name, which is going to be good, but then you're going to change up from what we originally want, and that's still going to be a rare lockdown build. So as long as you maintain the 79 3-pointer, you're going to be good. Just don't go anything over and everything's going to be okay. Now, as y'all can see, we get the lockdown as well as the sharpshooting takeover. Both of these are going to be very good. To pick the most overpowered one, which will be the lockdown, go ahead. But as y'all can see, we have made the two-way mid-range shooter, and that really reminds me of Kobe, y'all. I'm telling you, like I said, if you want to, make your own adjustments to this build, but the way that we just showed y'all, definitely going to be worth something thinking about, especially with the fact that we can change the weight and make all our physicals something worth using. Now, we're going to be getting a +8 to our physicals for this version of the build. But if you did end up leaving your weight at the max, all of our stats are going to be able to hit above 70 once you get that gym rat badge and getting the +8 to our physicals. However, for this version, the speed is going to be in the 90s. Acceleration is just going to be right around there. Then when it comes down to the vertical, it's going to hit 90. Close shot, it's going to hit in 86 with boost will be in the 90s. Same thing with the driving dunk, this will be in the 80s with boost. Standing dunk is easily going to be able to hit the 70s, and then when it comes down to the mid-range shot with boost, this is going to hit 90s. 3-pointers with boost is going to be able to hit the high 80s, and then when it comes down to that free throw, this has the potential to get to 99. Then on the post fade, this will easily hit the 90s. When it comes down to our defense, the perimeter and the lateral quickness as well as our steal are all going to be in the mid 90s, and then when it comes down to that defensive rebound with boost, you're going to be able to get 80s, and it's possible to really outboard a lot of builds with this kind of build because you're going to be able to guard anybody, and I'm telling you, the athleticism on it is going to be very good. So when it comes down to the only playmaking badge that we should consider on this build, quick first step is the one that I'm going to go with. Now let's go ahead and get into the finishing. So as you can see, we got 5 to work with. The main one that I really want to put on is going to be contact finisher on gold. From here, I would really consider Giant Slayer or Relentless Finisher. You can even go with Lob City Finisher, but all of these are really going to be based off of your own preference. In mine, I'm telling you, all of these are going to be some really good setups. It just comes down to what you are most comfortable with. Now, let's go ahead and get into the shooting. 19 badges to work with. So the first one that I am definitely going to put on, and this goes for every build that can get it. Range Extender on Hall of Fame, but then you have to go ahead and pair it up with Hot Zone Hunter. Now, another Hall of Fame badge that I like, if you know your jump shot, Hot Start is going to be the one that you want to go with. And another one, if you're going to be in the corner specialist on Hall of Fame as well as Silver Catch and Shoot. And then for the last one, you could go with Volume Shooter. However, if you want to go ahead and spread the wealth, that is another route that you can definitely take. In my opinion, I am fine with corner specialist on silver, and then from there I'm going to go with bronze catch and shoot, clutch shooter, green machine, and then volume shooter. Now another way to go about it to end the setup for the shooting is you can honestly just go ahead and put on bronze green machine, leave on bronze volume shooter, and then from here you could go with Hall of Fame catch and shoot as well as corner specialist. A badge that I really like is clutch shooter, especially if you have the amount of badges to be able to keep it on. For my preference, when it comes down to catch and shoot, I feel like silver is going to be perfect. However, if you feel like you need to go higher, you can definitely do that. Now, for the last two, you could go with Hot Start on silver, or you could go ahead and add a couple more of bronze badges. It really comes down to what you like. For me, I like to put on badges that are definitely going to help out with my shooting boost. Now, let's go ahead and get into the defense. 21 badges to work with, so we actually have the potential to put on straight 5 Hall of Fame badges. If you want to go ahead and do that, first, go ahead and put on Intimidator on Hall of Fame. Now, from here, 2 bronze badges, or at least 1 that I would consider is going to be Interceptor or Chase Down Artist. The rest of the way, let's go ahead and get it to the Hall of Fame badges now. Rim Protector is going to be another really good badge. I feel like all builds that can keep it are definitely going to be able to use it, and honestly, it is definitely going to be worth your badges to put on. Now, Rebound Chaser is one that you can consider. However, if you're not going to be going for boards a lot, go ahead and take it off and replace it with Defensive Leader. Go ahead and put on Clamps after that. Now, we have one more Hall of Fame badge that we can put on. If you want to, I feel like you can spread the wealth between Lightning Reflexes as well as Chase Down Artists. However, Another badge that I really like is going to be Rebound Chaser. For my style of play, I go for boards. It does not matter what kind of position I'm under. For this specific build, I feel like it's going to work out. But if you want to, spreading the wealth is another way that you can go about it. And leaving it on silver is something as well. Now that's the final setup we're going with, 5, 19, 1, and 21. Thank y'all so much to everybody who finished this entire video through. I truly appreciate y'all. I just want y'all to know I got another video dropping for y'all tomorrow. So be sure to stick through. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. To the RGF family and any new supporters, I would appreciate it if y'all went ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and share this video with your family and friends. And last but definitely not least, go ahead and turn on post notifications so y'all can see when I upload every single day. Man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.